Looking to achieve a healthier lifestyle but have little time? The Terrebonne General Executive Health Program can improve your overall health for a lifetime in one visit. With little to no waiting, you get a whole year of wellness in one convenient location. Our preventative screenings increase your well-being by providing early detection against illness. With exceptional VIP service, you leave with a plan in hand to achieve a healthier lifestyle tailored for you. Call the Terrebonne General Executive Health Team at 985-850-6204 today.
All right, we're back, and once again, documenting, taking notes, talking to everybody that was involved in this blizzard. I'm going to call it a blizzard because we had a whiteout here in the front of HTV for 5 to 6 hours. Mike Sobert is joining us, once again, the general manager, Terrebonne Consolidated Waterworks District. Mike, I learned a lot of things during the storm. The one, when it's declared an emergency, you work for the parish president.
Yes, sir.
Never knew that before. I was talking to former parish president Gordon Dove. He said, oh, yeah. And then, as a matter of fact, I talked to Michelle Claudet this morning. A lot of things in 40 years I just never knew, but you learn because you're in an emergency.
That's it.
So things we could do different. I know one thing. As much as we've spent on levees, and I think you'll probably agree, when you told me that we'd probably get a D with the water because of the piping we've had and it would cost whatever amount of money it would cost to fix it, I started thinking maybe the next thing we need to look at is the infrastructure of water after we maybe get some federal help in the levees, which I think we're going to get. Start spending some serious money on the water. Those asbestos pipes and everything else we have, outdated would be the word, right?
They coming to the end of life. You know, so it's the AC, they call it AC, asbestos concrete. So the concrete, of course, you know, people build bridges and all kinds of structures and everything with concrete, and it lasts forever. The asbestos is mixed in it to kind of hold it together, and the asbestos does never, ever, ever touch the potable water. The pipe itself is actually cement lined.
Right.
But what it is and in the 80s, when Terrebonne Parish's potable water supply really grew, that's really when you took off. That was the Cadillac. Mm-hmm. That was the best you could buy, and that's what those people bought, and that's what they put in. The problem is our water table, okay, is so high, full of water, those pipes sit in water all the time. Right. And so you see people talk about the cement siding, the hardy board. That's basically cement. Mm-hmm. It's great as long as you just don't let it sit in water all the time, unless it's prepared property. So a lot of our AC pipes is just reaching an end of life. They've been there 30, 40, 50 years. They're still great on the inside, but they just deteriorate. Same way with a lot of our cast iron. Some of downtown Houma is 100 years old. Yeah. Those guys had running water in the early 1900s. Some of them are still there. We did some work, I forget the name of the street, but right where the two tunnels come out, you know, in and out of the tunnel, we found a valve that we didn't know was there. And of course, you find it and you look at it, it was 1920. Wow. Installed, still working. We found it. Obviously, we replaced it, but I mean, so our water infrastructure is rapidly getting old.
So educate me, because for all the calls we were getting, people going, well, why can't we have a dedicated line in the southern part of the parish? Or why? And I'm going, y'all way above my pay grade.
Okay.
So if we were able to identify problem areas and we put, for lack of a better word, you got water towers in different places that supply water. You're making water. When you're making water, are you filling up the water towers and then using gravity to get pressure? How's that work?
Okay, so to start with, if you'll remember, in November 13th of probably 13, the state of Louisiana Department of Health went on an emergency directive for water. Naklaria or fowlery, the brainy amoeba, was found in water in St. Bernard Parish. A young man died from it. Right. Whoa, we got to do that. The whole ball game of water changed. Literally, I'm telling you, changed. Prior to that date, the firemen and seafood industry and every customer said, just give me plenty of water. Just plenty of water. I need water. So you had 24, 36 big pipes carrying the little bit smaller pipes and going. Well, Well, when that Nigleria Fowler came about, somebody a lot smarter than me decided, whoa, time out. What you got to do now is be able to keep the chlorine residual, which is our primary disinfectant, up higher. That's not easy. Big water, moving slow, chlorine goes away, it dissipates. So we leave our Shreva plant with 4, okay, and we're chloramine, but don't complicate it, but we leave with a 4. A lot of times in the summer, we struggle to get down to Texaco at the end of the line. That's 7 days away. That water takes 7 days from the time it leaves Shreva and it gets to Texaco, or it leaves Houma and gets to the end at the Shrimpers Road down in Dulac.
When you don't have water or there's a leak and you get the leak fixed, it takes a long time to get it down there.
To get it down there. It just takes a long time. Now, again, pumps help. You know, they boost the pressure goes and it gets down faster. So for this particular storm, water from Shreva was pumping through Presque Isle because we couldn't get enough water to keep the pump on. You turn the pump on, it shuts right back off, low pressure. So it was running through at the rate of about 1,800 gallons a minute. So that's, you know, like 2.5 million gallons flowing through that just on its own. And we didn't make a dent, didn't go anywhere. All those houses down the bayou now are 5, 10, 15 feet up in the air. Well, that means I need an extra 5 or 10 or 12 pounds to get it in your house. It was all leaking out underneath. So do we need more pumps? Yes.
They call that the head, huh?
The head pressure, that's right.
Pressure,
and it's, I forget what it is. But anyway, you need so much pressure to get it in. Our 2 standpipes, Prospect Street and North Terrebonne by the mall, one by Prospect Street there. That's 60 pounds of pressure when that thing is full, but it's like 160 feet tall.
I think I asked you the other day, but let's take a break when I come back. Let's talk about what it would take to put a substation or something in the southern part. Maybe it's a pipe dream. Maybe I'm way out of line. Let's talk about it just so we can educate us. And let's take a break. When we come back, what about a water substation somewhere that would benefit the southern part of the parish? Because we know they win a bond. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.
All right, still with Mike Sobert. We're trying to revisit some of the things and some of the problematic areas. I was talking about some kind of substation. I know generally speaking, you might have some of this already, but I mean a bona fide substation for the South. And has FEMA been helpful to you even from Ida on?
No.
Okay.
No. We, in our 13 years, at least mine, FEMA will help you with those things that you have insurance for and you just don't have enough insurance. Our water system, I think our policy and assets like $100 million.
But you're on a main break, I think, by Mr. Sinak's property on 183, and you were telling him to look at the Google Earth pictures.
Right.
They were still denying it. Right?
Yeah, they still deny it. They just, so we have a 24-inch main water line, Williams Avenue, right on a 6-foot ditch and all they call it. There's a blue building there. That's a pump station that we have not used or been able to use since about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month after Ida. There's a 24-inch line that runs from the Shreva plant, was one of the original ones. So that pipe itself is, say, 1975. That's 25. You're looking at almost 50 years. 24-inch line. Runs to William Street. That's our biggest pump station. I can't use it because I don't have a pipe for it to carry water out of. So FEMA told us no. FEMA told us no. FEMA told us no. Mr. Biden had the American Infrastructure Act. The Louisiana legislature had a water sector committee. Our Representative Zarang was on that. And between he and the rest of the delegation, Tanner McGee, Beryl Amedee, Senator Feasey, and from Franklin. I think it was Allen, Senator Allen.
Yeah.
We got $5 million, the maximum amount. Problem is, to replace that line costs $8 million. So we took the 5, put in some of our own, like 7, and guaranteed Terrebonne General would always have water.
But the parish has a $3 million emergency fund, from what I understand.
I'm not the parish.
But in a state of emergency, you become a parish employee, huh? That
I don't make the rules.
That might
I
be a
just
gray
play-
area.
I don't know.
Maybe we could put them together.
But again,
yeah.
And this started actually before that. I mean, we've been working on this. When was I? 4 years ago?
I forget.
Well, yeah, it kind of blends together. We were doing it before. At that time, it was 10 or 12 million.
Yeah.
Anyway, to make a long story short, the 5 million we got off of the Infrastructure Act, we put up waterworks, 7.5 million.
Okay.
We got lucky. We got some really good bids, and we got some jobs, and we saved money. And now we're going to bid that new line out, I think in March, right at the beginning of March. It's been engineered.
Okay,
Everything's
yeah.
ready to go. We got the money in the bank to pay for it. That's going to be a big help because that 24-inch line comes down Park Avenue, takes a left at Coteau, comes across, goes behind the mall on the Alma, goes to Hollywood Road down there into Williams Boulevard. Now I got plenty of water.
So you were pulling a carriage with about 3 less horses than you needed.
Probably more like 4 or 5.
Okay. Let me ask you this. So how many with all of the southern parts of the parish that lost water and, I mean, you lost a head on them and they couldn't pump their water.
Yeah.
How many gallons of water do you think you would have needed for that?
Well, we probably need between right around 4 million gallons a day
Okay.
to go in that direction.
And what does a station pump? What is like the Shreva station and the Houma
I
State pump?
don't know. We're going to do a new raw water pump for our Shreva plant on Bayou, and they're telling me it's going to cost over $10 million.
Okay.
And that's going to be able to
You see
pump.
where I'm going? I'm putting it in
I got
people's.
you. I
I'm
got
putting
you.
it in people's mind right now
got
that
you.
we need to look at infrastructure. Water's a killer. We all want our roads to be nice, or when the water goes out.
Yep.
You know, it's tough. And I'm just trying to make it to where maybe next time that there's some extra money floating around, or if things get really good under President Trump, we can start looking at some infrastructure for water, you know?
Right.
But it's, what'd you learn from this that you hadn't learned from Ida?
No matter how much you prepare and how much you're ready, it still depends on how fast you can be on your feet to react to what you didn't prepare for or even think it could occur. We're very fortunate, Martin. I mean, you can say what you want about us, but let me tell you, when I see people, and there's pictures to prove it, standing in water up to their neck in 25 degrees, trying to find where the leak is so they can put a clamp.
Wow.
So we don't have to shut the water off so
Yeah.
people don't. It makes putting up with them the other 360 days of the year well worth it.
And that's why I want everybody represented, because you're right. There's so many things. I talked to you so many times, and you told me play by play what y'all were trying to do to, and God, it's just the sheriff just said he thinks water's more important than anything. I said, well, in 15-degree weather, electricity is pretty good for your heater too.
that's right.
So it
That's
just
exactly
depends. A summer hurricane doesn't give you cold like a snowstorm does. So we're looking at different things. But once again, thanks to your crew to make sure you pass.
Oh,
on
they know that.
Yeah.
They know that. They're good guys and ladies.
Yeah,
they work well. And again, we talk about potable water for washing your clothes, drinking, washing your car, doing all that stuff. Sewage won't work without water.
Right. Very true.
Sewage will not work without water.
Yeah. And real quick, I know we got 50 seconds left. Car washes use tanks, right? They
Some of them
recirculate.
do. Certainly the new ones do because they can't afford to pay for the price of water. And why would you want chlorinated water to wash your car with in the first
And I
place?
want to be fair to them, so they don't have to shut their water off.
Nope.
And it looks bad
That's
on them,
correct.
but they don't.
Nope.
They're really not designed to.
Nope.
Mike, thank you so much for
Always a
coming.
pleasure, Mr. Martin.
And
Thank
just
you.
keep us posted. And
Sure will. We're back to normal.
got it back.
No boil waters. Pressures are all above 40, 45 pounds at the end. So we're back to normal.
Amen for that.
Amen.
And I put the bug out there, so let's see if maybe some substations. Let's raise some money.
Yep, we
All
got
right.
it.
Thank you, Mike.
Always a pleasure.
All right,
Thank
we'll
you,
take
sir.
a break. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough.